So whenever thinking about Sea of Thieves, one of the first things that comes to mind is tucking. Tucking is one of the biggest parts of the game, and everyone who plays Sea of Thieves knows about it, and if they have just picked it up for the first time, they will very quickly know what it is. But it wasn't always this way. You see, before the golden age of piracy we live in today, tucking was hardly even known. The art of tucking has had one of the biggest and most profound impacts on Sea of Thieves, and it has a great history to go along with that. So today, I will be telling you about the history of tucking, how it was developed, how it was used, and anything else that is important about it. So sit back, relax, hit like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy. To many people's surprise, it actually took some time for tucking to be developed. It first appeared on Reddit right about here, just before the Hungering Deep update. Now, tucking back then was a lot different than it is today, mostly because there was no real reason to do it, as there was no loot in the game. Not that there wasn't a large variety of loot that we see today, just because there wasn't any. The only real way to get loot was by doing the 3 mission types that they had, which were just the basic 3 that everyone despises today. There was only one world event, the Skull Fort, which only gave around 10 grand at the time. And because everyone in the game was new, none of them wanted to hold on to their loot for very long, so most of them went and sold it immediately.
Where's the angel?
So the only real reasons people would have wanted to tuck back then was to mess with the crew and have some fun, or to steal Skull Fort loot, because nobody had any other loot on them.
I'm going for it. Oh my god, I'm gonna check the holes now. They're opening the door. They're opening the door as their ship is sinking.
Is it going to sink all the way?
Yes, it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, Liam. Oh my fucking
Up a
god.
little bit out.
It just sunk.
So they can't swim to us.
I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them. Oh.
Nowadays, it is very common for people to tuck on ships to steal the Athena chest. But back then, people didn't do that because it was largely frowned upon by the community to steal Athena's chests. Mostly because anyone who invested that much time into the game deserved it more than anyone else did. There was little to no content in the entire game, so really no one wanted to play it long enough to get the Athena's chest. Heck, back then it wasn't even called tucking. It was known as the Pirate Ninja meta. There were very little people who actually participated in this ninja meta, and it actually died off really quickly. Just as it was invented in the Hungering Deep update, it died in the Cursed Sails. In fact, it will remain that way for a long time. Many people didn't even know it existed except for a few who still participated in it, but that was very, very few people. It would stay this way until the anniversary update. Around the time a streamer called Summit1G started playing the game. He was one of the first big content creators to ever participate in tucking as we know it today. And I would say he's the one who brought it back. He became super famous within the Sea of Thieves community immediately, as he was already a pretty big streamer before. Almost for an entire year, Summit1G had become the face of tucking as we know it. It would stay this way until around the 2nd anniversary update. The new pirate meta had gotten popular enough to where it was given a new name, tucking, even though this name was around long before. This was the first time it was widely accepted. Before, tucking had no real purpose, it was just for fun. But now, it seemed almost everyone was tucking on enemy ships, with the sole intent of stealing treasure. As time went on, tucking became more and more popular, and eventually grew larger than Summit himself. Tucking was not only fun to do, but fun to watch. And it's because of this that many new content creators, such as Freemason Live, became popular around this time. And because of increased loot spawns, new world events such as the Skeleton Fleets, but especially the Fort of the Damned, tucking was everywhere. Because so many people were participating, many new tuck spots were discovered, such as hiding in the canopy of the sloop and glitching into walls. Now, all of a sudden, something that was so rare and harmless had become something so common and deadly. Tuck checks became mandatory. I would go as far to say that this was the renaissance of tucking. So now, enter 2020 with the 2nd anniversary update. This update changed the game forever as it added emissaries, a new fun way to get extra loot and reputation. This was basically Sea of Thieves' way of fueling the fire. Now people had even more of a reason to tuck on enemy ships. I believe this was also around the time that Sea of Thieves started giving us new emotes specifically designed for tucking on ships, thus the hide bundles. Pets were also added, which completely destroyed the aspect of being sneaky as they ran around and made a bunch of noise. And that leads us to present day. Now, as I previously stated, tucking has had a very profound impact on Sea of Thieves. It's one of the biggest reasons the game became as popular as it did in 2019, along with, well, them actually adding content. I remember sitting there on Reddit watching the Ninja Pirate meta as it first surfaced, thinking, that might be a cool idea, but I'm not sure what the purpose behind it is. And, well, now look at it today, it's something huge. And that looks like that's all I have. So, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. It really would make me happy. As for now, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.